It seems like it's been 40 weeks since you got 40 winks. Your back pain? Unbearable. Tossing, turning, trying to find that pain-free position. And that's the moment you realize you can't spend another waking moment putting off treatment.
The Joint and Spine Center is Cincinnati's leading destination for spine care, with a ton of surgical and non-surgical treatments for back pain. So when a moment has the power to change the rest of your life, go to the one place with the power to change it for the better, the Christ Hospital Health Network. This changes everything.
The Pound This Podcast is brought to you by the Christ Hospital Health Network. This is the Pound This Podcast, episode 656, Can HIIT Hurt Your Health? With guest Josh Garrett.
I want to lose weight, but I don't know how to get started. What should I meal prep every week?
How do I get those sweet booty gains?
Inspiration for your healthy lifestyle. The Pound This Podcast with Amanda Valentine.
Thank you so much for listening to the Pound This Podcast. I'm Amanda Valentine. I forgot your name.
Well, that's a great introduction.
Who are you again?
My name's Josh.
Josh Garrett, owner, trainer at Cincy 360 Fitness. Do you have a founder, CEO? How many other titles could you give yourself?
I don't know. When all the pandemic stuff was going on, you had to through the bank stuff that you had to send in. There was president. That was another one.
Did you label yourself as president?
Yeah, because they didn't have owner. It was just.
Oh my God, you're the president of the gym.
A weird, El Presidente.
Oh, fancy. So before we get into the topic, which I'm very excited to talk about, with HIIT workouts and their success level, because I feel like HIIT is very beneficial in a lot of ways, but can very easily be abused.
Yes.
And normally I bring my book out to ask you some life questions, but guess what? I got something new. This was a business expense for the president of Amanda Valentine Bites. And I'm so disappointed because it's lamer than I wanted it to be, but we'll see if we can make it work. So we're just going to improv here, Josh. It's a game.
You know how much I love that.
I know. It's called The Sweet and Spicy Truth. So there are cards that ask questions kind of like the book, but some of them are so lame. We'll see what we can go here. So I got this off Amazon.
Okay.
So there's cards, and some are labeled as spicy. They're not really that spicy. And then there's medium, and then there is sweet.
Okay.
So then you choose a card, and the questions are based off of their spicy questions or medium questions or sweet questions. We might have to do a couple because whoever designed this game kind of sucks. And even though I know we're not playing it by the real rules, but they're yes or no questions. The book does,
I like yes or no.
Rule number one, yeah, of course you do. Improv is you yes and. You don't give yes or no questions. So first off, I'm curious to see I'll let you ask me first. Or if you're going to go for
Should we roll the dice?
Oh, no. The first one, I want to see what you choose. Oh. I'm judging you. So I want to see if you choose spicy, medium, or sweet.
For you? Or
yeah, you're going to ask me.
Oh. Let's go middle of the road.
Okay.
Let's go medium.
Okay.
It'd be lame. All right. Whoa.
Oh, is this going to be good?
Would you attend the execution of someone who murdered a loved one?
Oh, my God.
Jesus. That's medium?
Well, that is more spicy than some of the other questions I have. The answer, yes, I would.
Yeah, that's...
Would you? Not that I want to watch people die. That's nothing I've ever witnessed. But I guess, yeah, if they had a cold blood murdered somebody I loved bad enough that they got an execution sentence, that means they did something messed up to the person that I love.
Yeah.
I would go watch that.
Yeah, we'll leave that at yeah.
Okay. So for you, I'm actually going to pick sweet. Look at me being nice. Let me go here. Oh, see, this is so lame. This is so lame. What's better? What would you choose? A day at the beach or a day at the pool?
Beach.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, there's just more things to do
Duh,
at the beach.
I want to go to the beach. Yeah. I can go to a pool inside of, La Quinta, and that's not the same as going to the beach.
What did you just say?
La Quinta.
What is that?
It's like a Super 8 motel. It's the, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, you just threw me off there with it.
Oh, you're going spicy this time.
Yeah.
Oh, is it spicy? Is it really spicy?
Do you think you've already hit your sexual peak?
No.
No.
Do you think that you have?
I hope not.
Right? No, dude, I'd say
it's all downhill from here.
I'd say this lady's just getting spicier. Oh my God. Okay, here we go. I picked spicy for you, Josh. Here, let me read this in my porn voice, though.
Great. Not to make it awkward at all.
Josh, would you be willing to give a 30-second kiss to a stranger for $1,000?
Yeah. You don't even have to throw $1,000 in there. Make it 100.
Did even any person, like,
well, I mean, yeah.
30 seconds. That's longer
That's
than
a
you
long
think.
kiss.
Yeah.
That
I mean,
gets
so that
bored.
means you're going to be using some tongue in there.
Yeah.
Like with a stranger, like you're going to trust that mouth?
I mean, it didn't say that I'm going to get anything from it.
Well, I didn't say that you're going to catch something. I'm just saying, like, you are legitimately just picking. I'm not going to say that. That was too mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're just, you're picking a real stranger that you're going to stick your tongue in their mouth for 30 seconds.
I mean, yeah. I'm not ashamed of that.
I don't know if I would do that.
For $1,000? Really? Wow.
It depends on the person, man.
Huh.
Like,
I mean, yeah, it obviously depends on the person. Like, it's not going to be.
yeah, if I get to choose, then this card is invalid if you get to choose the person. Then why would, if there's somebody that you're like, yeah, I would kiss them for $100 to just kiss them already.
It just says stranger.
Yeah.
So if they're a stranger to me, that would fit the criteria of the question.
True. But yeah, it depends on what kind of stranger. Like, there's a lot of creeps out there, man.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, there's people that like say things to me on social media that are strangers that you couldn't pay me $1 million to kiss for 30 seconds.
Really?
Dudes are creepy. Maybe that's because chicks aren't as creepy as dudes. Not to make this a sexist conversation.
Yeah.
I mean, what if
valid.
you made out with this chick? You got $1,000 or your $100. You got $100 for making out with this chick, and then she became obsessed with you, and then she stalked you. Was that worth it?
I feel like I could tell somebody to kiss off.
Well, I mean, you might have to get a restraining order. People are creepy. Well, I've had a couple stalkers.
Really?
Yeah. Have you ever had a stalker?
No, I don't think so. I think you would know.
It's not attractive. It's scary. Like,
I would imagine as a female that would definitely be.
The first stalker I had, because this is all just because of radio stuff.
Right.
And so this was my real taste of what it's going to be like being in radio. My first stalker was at my college radio station.
Oh, geez.
And this dude would like make me mix CDs, and they were really creepy. And he would, because at my college station, it was in the like main hallway of like the main building of campus, and there's the glass windows like you have in radio stations. So people walking in the hallways could look in and watch people on the air. And he would just come outside that window and just stare at me and not go away. And I didn't know how to be mean. I mean, I'm freaking 18 years old.
Right.
And it got to the point, it must have been one of the mix CDs he gave me, which I let the person that ran the program at the college station listen to, and he kept. I wish I had it now, but he kept it, and they had to like go to like, I don't know, guidance counselors or something, and they had to pull this kid aside, and they're like, you're not allowed to come down to the radio station anymore. You can't be around Amanda. And
yeah, I don't like creepy guys. Like it's it's just
I had a dude in my first full-time radio job that would make me creepy homemade candles and drop them off at the radio station. And that's where it's like, it's going to happen to me when I walk out to the parking lot. And not that they were stalkers. This happened here in Cincinnati. I was at a car remote. I was doing a live broadcast at a car dealership, and these dudes wouldn't leave me alone, and then they followed me to my car.
Yeah.
And then there's no one else there, and it's just me, and I'm like afraid to be mean of like, oh, Amanda from B105 told these dudes to F off. Like, I don't know what they can go blast on social media.
That's just it. Is like, at what level does it get to that you're like, okay, they're being nice, or they're giving me a gesture, oh, that's sweet. And then it goes to the next level of like, all right, this is getting kind of weird. Like it just,
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that, I don't know. I wish people had a better, the like longevity of their thought process of like, well, how's the other person going to feel about
Oh
this?
man, when you're in that headspace, you don't care.
Yeah, but people should.
Well, I mean, they should.
Yeah.
But yeah, true. You've met people.
Yeah.
People are, people are crazy, as Billy Currington would say.
Yes, they are.
Oh, are you taking another card?
No.
I was like, oh, we can keep going.
No, I
Okay.
just am playing with the dice now.
Okay, gotcha. Okay. Sorry, ADD right there. So I guess we should get to the topic at hand, away from stalkers.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, again, to reiterate my point, dudes like that, you couldn't pay me enough to make out with for 30 seconds. Like,
That's valid.
no, thank you. Like, no. And just random message I'll get online too of just, again, like I'm not on online dating. So it's not like I'm getting dick pics like girls do. Like, so I'm not at that level, but just like random messages of just like, hey, I want to hook up with you. I'm like, okay.
Cool. Did you really think that was going to work?
Okay. Like,
yeah.
I'm delete.
Yeah. Good job. Try fishing somewhere else.
Yeah. I will not make out with you. So anywho.
Yeah. On that
HIIT
note.
workouts.
Yeah. HIIT high intensity.
Yeah. So HIIT, in case you are, you don't know, is high intensity interval training. So essentially like a HIIT workout is like you're working 30 seconds, a minute, whatever the time is, an interval of like all full on, all out max, stop, rest for a period of time, whether that's 30 seconds to 90 seconds, a couple minutes or whatever,
Yep.
and hit it again, which you don't have to do that much of to maximize the effort. I would say 4 or 5 rounds maybe?
Right. Yeah. 10,
and
15 minutes. Like
Yeah.
total in
Yeah.
duration. That's about that's about the efficiency of a HIIT training workout.
Yeah,
Like, it
you don't
doesn't
want
have
to crank that
be-
for 45
Yeah.
minutes. And so this article, which I'll link in the show notes, and I'll also put on Instagram at You Can Pound This, that the New York Times put out just saying that there was a study done basically saying that HIIT workouts were less beneficial to health than just going in and doing less intensity workouts.
Right.
Of doing those actually were detrimental to fat loss. You're not going to lose as much fat. It wasn't great for your blood pressure either. So I wanted to bring that up because I feel like so many people kind of get into these boot camp sort of classes or these circuit training classes that essentially are putting you pretty much through a HIIT workout for a half hour to 50 minutes,
Yep.
which is, you think that it's beneficial for you. And I mean, I'm totally 100% guilty of this.
Yep.
I've done this a lot. And you're thinking by being this intense for this amount of time, I'm sweating through my shirt, I can't breathe, I can feel my heartbeat in my brain, that this is how I'm losing weight.
That
Like,
had to be a good workout.
yeah,
Yeah.
like I'm just like, I got my ass whipped, I'm losing weight, this is what it means to work out. And then I think, one, just that alone, just being in that one space is dangerous. But then I think that so you're losing weight from that. I mean, if you go from 0 to these nothing but HIIT workouts, which typically are a ton of cardio,
Right.
that, yeah, you're going to lose a butt ton of weight on the front end. And then when you plateau, then your solution is, well, let me do more of these.
Mm-hmm.
And so then you're cranking out 5 days a week. People are going to these high intensity classes of trying to, I mean, it's not to just throw them under the bus, because I think I haven't been to an Orange Theory class, but that sort of thing.
Right.
Of
Yep.
where you're kind of working intervals, you're working really hard for a long period of time. That then when you're doing that 5 days a week and you stop or you chill out and then you start gaining weight back, you freak out and you have so will you ever be able to live a life where you're not running that freaking hard?
Right.
And this article didn't touch on those things. It specifically touched on body fat and blood pressure. But I think that is even so much more dangerous than not having your fat loss as much as just doing like a regular strength training routine, because then you're going into some disorders.
Right. It's like yo-yo dieting,
Yeah.
yo-yo exercising, right?
Yeah.
Of like, you just go in and you go ham for 2-3 months and then you kind of whatever life happens, your priorities shift a little bit. You can't go to those classes as much as you were. And now you're stuck with, well, now what do I do? You know, that kind of thing.
And especially if you're plateaued and you're not losing weight or hitting your goals. And then obviously, and I've been there, the solution is find a way to do more.
Right.
And I would do that with running.
Yep.
Like, well, I would do, before I moved to Cincinnati, I would run every other day. And in between those days, I would hike because I wasn't going to the gym. I was just having this conversation, oh my God, twice somehow in the past 24 hours, that if I had to go back and do it all over again, I would definitely start strength training so much sooner. I probably would have bounced on the running, just started with walking and then did some strength training. And I definitely would have focused more on stretching, just knowing how much my body is just jacked now, and how much I ran and hiked and did zero stretching. So, and it was, okay, I am not losing any weight anymore. I'm stuck at being down whatever weight I was down, 90 pounds or whatever. So let me take my run from 3 miles to 6 miles. Right. And then every single day was just so much cardio. There was like nowhere else to go except I'm going to walk 15 miles today instead of 10 miles. And even that didn't really make a difference on the scale. And it's just...
Yeah, you get into that sick cycle.
Where does it end?
Yeah. Yep. Of just more, and the body at some point is going to break down.
Yeah.
You know, it's inevitable.
Yeah.
Did I say that right?
So, I mean, from your opinion, I sent you the article. I feel like I'm the only one talking here. That is, do you notice this a lot in clients, or do you feel any pushback from clients or anybody at the gym or clients of like, I want to incorporate more of this, or people kind of go into that mindset, or just not educated on what HIIT does for you or how you should utilize it?
And that's exactly it. I think that everything has a purpose. You know, there's no good, bad, in my opinion. I think that it can all facilitate some sort of benefit in your body. So HIIT training is good for you if you do it 1 or 2 days a week in combination with yoga, Pilates, strength training, not at a high intensity level, so that you're getting kind of a mixture of everything, because then your body's going to have to adapt to the stress that you're putting upon it, and it's going to change. And then the yoga is going to add a different stress, and the strength training is going to add a different stress, and your body's going to become stronger just by throwing cross training into the mix, but the thing where people get in trouble, just what you were alluding to, is they find one thing that works for them that they like, and they get the endorphin rush from it, and they start to see some results. So then they want more of it, and then they add more to it, and then they add more to it, and they add more to it. And at a high intensity level like that, your body only knows stress. It doesn't know good stress, bad stress. It just knows stress. We've deemed as a society good stress, bad stress.
Yeah.
The body just knows stress, and it knows that it needs to adapt to change to facilitate that stress that you're putting upon it. Exercise is a good stress used appropriately in individuals. Mm-hmm. There are people that are addicted to exercise, that, they have to exercise 7 days a week or else they're going to go insane. And that person would have a bad relationship with exercise.
Yeah.
If they're not doing it in an appropriate way, right? So like if you're referring to the high intensity interval training, if you're going into the gym and 7 days a week, you're just crushing it, that's probably not a healthy relationship with exercise. You got to have some times where you crank it up and sometimes where you let it back down a little bit. And I think that volume over time, just like you were saying, is going to be the most bang for your buck. So having the lifestyle that enables you to have those peaks and valleys, so to speak, and kind of maintain that normal level of intensity when your body's capable of doing intensity level stuff, and then giving your body, the yoga, stretching, recovery type exercises when your body needs that, is what is going to have the most bang for the buck when it comes to a healthier lifestyle.
Yeah. I think that probably the danger point of that for a lot of people, probably including myself, even though I didn't work in strength training till so much later, is that you see those results so quickly versus if you were starting out with strength training and doing less cardio, less high interval training, then it's going to be a much slower process to watch that scale change. Your body probably will change more, but that's where it's like pictures and measurements make a difference because you're not going to just notice that with your eye right away. So I feel like then if you are starting there, you're like, oh my God, well, I only lost 2 pounds this month. Like, this sucks. But if you just did the cardio high interval training, you might have lost 10 pounds that first month. So then you're just kind of like, you automatically assume this is the better way because this got me more results faster. But that's where I think it's, I mean, you can disagree with this. I think it's something like that you have to just like live through. Like we can say this right now and somebody's listening to this and you're like, oh, I get that. But you don't like really get it until you get burned with it, I feel like.
And every body is different, right? We've talked about that numerous times on here, is that, what is high intensity for myself may be not such high intensity for someone else. Or it could be, holy cow, there's no way that I could do that at the level that I'm at right now, right? So like you can make intensity levels higher for yourself by just turning the treadmill up at a higher incline, letting the treadmill come down.
Yeah.
If you're at a deconditioned level, that could be high intensity interval training for yourself. So everybody wants these perfect parameters put around things where it's like, well, how long should I do this? And how, should I do 20 seconds on, 10 seconds of rest? Well, yeah, if you're recovered in that time.
Yeah.
If you've never done this before, no, you should take longer rest periods, and well, that doesn't fit in what I read. Well, what you read was wrote by somebody that doesn't know you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like there's so much of it that is person to person. And, just because this program said that you have to do it, or a class says that you have to do it a certain way, it's all based off of you, and you have to understand your body, and you have to understand what you're capable of doing, push yourself outside of your comfort zone a little bit, and then let your heart rate come back down, push yourself outside of your comfort zone a little bit, let your heart rate come back down. And that's high intensity interval training for, a deconditioned person, where it's so subjective, right?
Yeah.
Like, and that's why I hate when it's like good or bad. It's all subjective to that person.
Yeah.
And high intensity interval training is great for some people, and it's detrimental for some people, so you can't deem high intensity interval training as good or bad. It's just, is it beneficial for a certain person in their journey or their program or wherever they're at in their health continuum at that day, so.
And jumping off of that, I think that's important too, with so many classes that, just across the board, Cincy circuit, even here at the gym, of knowing like, just because that's the class that you attend across the board doesn't mean that that's right for you either.
Yep.
It's just, here's a generic thing. We're going to run through this. Some people might be awesome at it. Other people suck at it. Doesn't mean you suck.
Right.
It's just, this is a generic thing. We're going to run a population through and see what happens. Cause that's all you can do with a class, because you can't do an individualized plan for 15 people or however many people show up. So I think that it's easy also to get in the trap of like, well, I went to a studio, I went to a gym, I did whatever, I went to the park, this thing was guided, these are personal trainers, this is the class, this must mean this is good for me. Not necessarily all the time, you know what I mean? It's just, you could do it one week and kill it, and the next week it kills you.
Yeah. and that is determined on a number of variables, right? So like, let's say you're super stressed with work, you're super stressed with family life, you're super stressed with the pandemic that we're dealing with right now, right? Like everybody's stress level is super high. So the thing that we should probably avoid is going and killing ourselves in the gym, because that's just going to add more stress to the body.
Yeah.
If we're not doing the recovery techniques that we should be, right? Like if we're not sleeping, we're not getting the adequate amount of hydration, we're not eating the right foods, our bodies aren't ready or capable of doing the high intensity interval trainings, we should probably avoid those and go take a walk, de-stress.
Yeah.
It adds.
But we have the mindset that that's doing nothing then.
And that's where it's the balance point, right? Because you can slip into, well, I'm too stressed, I can't go do a hard workout. And that individual may need to go do a hard workout, because they haven't stressed their body enough. Whereas, and then that's just, that's where you need to seek out a professional advice.
Yeah, right.
But in all reality, I mean, that is where, you just got to learn your body, and you got to learn what your body's capable of doing. And listening to your body, I think, is huge. I think that there's a lot of people that just want someone else to tell them what's right for them. And it's like, we're all guessing at this thing. I have 10 years of experience, and it's an educated guess, but at the end of the day, it's still a guess. We test, retest. And I think that, we live in such a analytical society where it's like, yes, no, pass, fail.
Yeah.
And nobody wants to take all of those variables into consideration and figure out what is right for them.
Yeah. Well, basically what this article was saying of going into like 4 days a week of doing this HIIT training, and then also amping it up where they said they started at like 3 or 4 intervals, and then it went up to 8.
Yep.
Basically, like by cranking it up, by doing it more, that's when it became detrimental. When they're saying wasn't saying don't do it, but they're saying when you do so many days a week and you're doing you go into the mindset of I'm doing 4 intervals of it. Oh, well, that feels like nothing. You know what I mean? I'm like, I got to be hitting the gym for an hour. That's like, no, but when you crank it more, that's when you're not even going to get the fat loss you want. Yep. You're not getting any benefits from it. So it's basically like, yeah, do it, but you don't overeat it. You don't have to eat the whole tub of icing.
Yeah.
Just have a little bit.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Get a little bit of a dabble. Your body has to respond to it. And then once you become strong at something, you probably should find something that you're weak at to supplement it. Because if you keep doing the stuff that you're strong at, the chain's not going to get any stronger. Yeah. You got to find the stuff that you're weak at and then try to strengthen it in conjunction with doing the stuff that you're having fun with and that you're strong at, because that's what keeps you coming back. It makes it a healthier lifestyle, and it makes you a stronger individual rather than just continuously hammering the thing that I'm really, really good at and avoiding the things that I'm really bad at. That's going to lead to an injury.
Yeah.
So
no growth from there either.
No.
You got like nowhere to go.
Yeah. 'Cause it's just stuff that you're good at, but it's really hard when you get the human element into it, as you and I can both attest to. It's, we like to do things that we're good at. We like to do things that is fun and exciting for us. And, for me, getting after it was fun. It's challenging my body. It's, but I just had to try to make that shift of, but I'm not good at stretching. And that's challenging. So your face just changed completely when I said that. Yeah, because it's.
I know, because I'm doing the same thing.
Yeah,
and it sucks.
Yeah. We're not any different. It's just.
Yeah, but it's like I'm doing it now. I'm doing my stretches and all that stuff every day, because.
And you just showed me that you were able to deadlift.
I know, when I wasn't able to do that even 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So it's that's where it's just like, and how many times did I listen to you say that to me when you were my trainer?
Yeah.
Of doing all the breathing exercise and all the crap I didn't want to do.
Yeah.
That I'm like, I get it. I intellectually get it.
Yep.
But I don't want to do it.
Right.
Like, I want to get after it. Yep. I want to feel like I got a workout. I need to get the endorphins. I need the release. And until you just break down and you can't do it all anymore. And then it's like, well, then you have to really rely on talk about motivation and stuff like that. You really have to go to the well then of like, how bad do I really want this to pull yourself up out of it? Or it's like, because it's so easy to be like, guess I don't work out anymore.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like that part of my life is over.
Can't do that. Or you go to, not saying that surgeries aren't beneficial, but sometimes it's just like everybody wants a quick fix. And it's like, sometimes you got to hit the hard reset when your body gives you those warning signs of injury, pain. You know, those are really, really yellow lights that people need to listen to. It's not no pain, no gain. You really should listen to your body. And when you're giving pain signals, don't just eat more ibuprofen. That's not what you should be doing.
I mean, I had a lot, especially with my knees.
Yeah.
A lot of yellow lights. And it was, okay, I'll ice it for a week or whatever until it's good enough to go again. And again, like going back, it was just, and I was at that time where I was at in my head, and I think I'm still there to a degree of like, I'm going to gain all my weight back.
Yeah.
If I stop to nurse this injury, I'm going to gain all my weight back and it's done. Where in hindsight now, I would be like, no, chill that out so you can pick it up again in a couple weeks. Mm-hmm. You move on a month later instead of, oh, you got a year down now. Yep. Or even having a surgery. I'm sure eventually I'm going to have some sort of surgery, but it's like how hard that is to be in that much pain, to need surgery, go through surgery, have to recover from surgery, and then basically move yourself way up slowly to kind of even get where you were before. I mean, you're talking a year and a half of, then that's where the determination really is. If like, am I going to get back to that level, or is it just kind of, you just lay into a new lifestyle?
Right. Working out's not for me. Whatever the case may be.
Or just not even going to where your original goals were or anything like that. So, I mean, and that it's the same thing I would equate it to, just like losing weight, gaining it all back, and then going back to lose it again. It's brutal. Like it's one of the worst things ever. I mean, I've done that multiple times. It is so painful. And also now going from, basically my body being like, no, you're done at the beginning of 2020 to going through the mental part of that, not only being in pain, but then to be like, no, okay, well, the crap that people have been telling you to do, the stretching, the physical therapy, the physical therapy exercises, like all of these things, do you want this or not? Like, well, then you're going to have to start putting in the work of the crap you didn't want to do.
Mm-hmm. But it's paying off.
It is, but God, it sucks.
And it takes so long. And, with my back and talking about that, before on here, you just know one way of working out, and you think, like for me, it was like, well, I'm going to lose all my gains, right? I'm going to not be able to lift anything if I take a month off, and then when my body finally told me, like, you have no choice, like I'm not allowing you to pick up anything, and then it was like, oh, and then I didn't lose all of the gains that I had. And I'm like, well, this doesn't make any sense, and then doing all the recovery stuff, my body actually started to feel better and started to move better, and started losing some body fat, and it was like, well, this is not what all the magazines told me that I should be doing. It's just we live in this, and again, it's a balance, right? I'm not saying don't lace your shoes up and get after it every once in a while. It's just in moderation. You don't have to do that every single day to be healthy. You have to know yourself and know where you're starting at, and push yourself to whatever is challenging for you. And you don't have to go, 800 miles an hour right off the rip. I think everybody gets this misnotion that it's got to be really, really hard from the beginning. It's build yourself up to it, and then, you're going to learn some stuff along the way where, oh man, I was sore for 3 days after that. That was a little too hard. Back it off a little bit, and that's kind of where I'm at in my journey of, all right, my back's feeling better. Okay. Now let's start adding in the working out, the exercise part of it, the strengthening part of it, and getting back into the traditional lifts that I was doing. And nope, put a little too much on it that day. It kind of told me, and it let me know. And I don't know. I think that's a cool relationship, but it took me forever to get there, because in the beginning it was like, oh, this is so ridiculous. Like, how am I telling other people how to lift weight? I don't even know how to breathe properly. Like, what? Like, that's absurd. But I don't know. That's a tangent I'm going on.
No, it's fine. Do you add any HIIT into your workouts?
Yeah, that's where I like to do. I like to get cardio from HIIT training. So I like to just kind of either run up a hill and then kind of walk back down, let my heart rate get back down, run back up, or do like the assault bike or rowing to, But again, it's not 20 seconds on, 10 seconds of rest. It's more of like 20 seconds on, 40, 45 seconds of rest, just because my cardio isn't where I'm just not capable of doing that. My legs just get smoked from doing that. And it's like, all right, I can't give 100%, right? So like, that's what I always try to tell clients is like, whatever you're capable of giving 100%, that's the rest period that you need to take. So if you need to take a minute, 2 minutes to then go hard again for 20, 30 seconds and then take another 2 minutes to recover, that's high intensity interval training for that individual. You know, it doesn't have to be the Tabata style or, 30 seconds of work with only 5 seconds of rest. You can play around with it.
Yeah. I just lost I totally lost my train of thought. That's fun.
And it's gone.
It is gone. Oh no. I was going to say a thing that trips me up too, and I'm still bad at this, is not taking the correct amount of rest time when I'm high interval training. I feel like I'm really good with that, of getting to the point where my heart rate's down enough and knowing when to kick it back up again. I'm really bad at giving myself adequate rest time when lifting.
Yeah.
I just want to get right into the next set. And I'm like, I know that's detrimental. Like, I need the rest for the work to happen, especially if I'm lifting heavy. But I don't, and then I just feel awkward. I'm just sitting there for like 2 minutes. And I'm like, I don't want to be a tool bag and get on my phone. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and then it's just like, well, let's just go get after it again, where I'm like, oh, I feel, and then it's like, you can't sit still. I don't know. Maybe that's just an Amanda problem.
Well, I think that's just our society. That's just kind of what we created, is like, we can't be bored anymore.
I know.
Like, if we're standing, it's like, okay, well, I got my phone or I got something to stimulate me. So if we do have that 30 seconds, 45 seconds, a minute, 2 minutes, whatever we're doing to work into that program, it's, like you said, it's this weird, awkward time of like, all right, well, what am I doing now?
Well, I feel like that there though, but I do this every single night. It's like, I don't know, I have to. I don't know. It's just like how my DNA is. It's kind of being this like introverted extrovert. I mean, I have to have alone time. I just like have to. And like disassociation time, where I'm like, I have to get off my phone and I will just stare into space. I mean, I watch TV maybe once a week. Like, I just don't have anything on. Like, I just need that time to, like, it's like I'm ramped up to 100 all day, that it's like at the end of the day, it's it needs to be silent. I'm tired of talking. I talk all day long. Yep. And then it's like, I can't, this is no talk time.
Turn the lights out and just lay down.
Yeah. And just stare into space and have that time. And I feel like if I don't have that, or if I even go too many days without, and this is a dangerous spot I'm putting myself in right now, is I'm not giving myself any 0 days. Every single day there's work to do. And there's some level of work that I'm doing every single day. And I'm like, I'm setting myself up for a crash. I have to have at least one day where I'm not answering a damn email. I'm not looking at my phone. Like, it has to happen or I crash. It's like, I have to have those reset moments. So I build them into every day, but I'm not building them into like my weeks. And that's where I'll start to get nuts and overwhelmed. And I think that goes with, I know that that's just how I operate personally, but I think that also goes into just a healthy lifestyle of backing away from like whatever it is. Like, even if you got to back away from your exercise routine, if it's stressing you out, like, zero out, man, reset.
Because we've deemed that as somehow being weak.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just like,
gotta grind all day,
24/7, 365. It's like, that's not smart. That's just not an educated way to go about anything. You got to have time to recharge and reset. And you got to go through the process of hitting some crash points to figure out, like, okay, well, can't do that again.
Yeah. Well, I was even planning, I think I mentioned this to you. I was actually going to do it tonight because I don't have anything to do tomorrow morning till 11. And I was going to get an Airbnb in Cincinnati, like, just to like, hey, I'm just going to turn my phone off. I don't have all the animals. I don't have my normal distractions. Like, literally and I did this in Detroit a couple of years ago, and it was amazing. Of like, I'm in a different space. I'm in a different headspace. Turn off. And I feel amazing after I do that. The only reason I didn't, I'm like, come on, we're recording this on a Tuesday. It's a Tuesday night in Cincinnati. I could not find an Airbnb with all the fees and stuff under $180. I'm like, $180 to stay in my own damn town?
Right.
And I'm like, I just can't justify that. I'm like, there's so many other cool things I could do with $180.
That is aggressive.
I know. And I'm like, I thought there would just at least be something. I'm like, it doesn't have to be the coolest place on earth. Like, I just need a place to just like click off. And I was even places not downtown, but I thought downtown would be cool because then I'm like, well, I could walk to the Y in the morning and have a different workout space, and not $180 cool, man.
$50, I'll let you put an air mattress in the bottom of the basement.
What, here?
Yeah.
Why would you charge me $50? I got keys. I would just
What are you talking about? That's $130 savings.
I just do it without you knowing. It's cold down here. I'm not going to sleep down here.
Well, I'd let you turn the furnace on.
Oh, thank you.
Give you some heat.
Thank you, President Josh.
Yeah. El Presidente.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, I guess since I do want to wrap this up in a couple of different ways. One, so I've been your employee for a couple months now. We said that we were going to do employee evaluations on the podcast. How have I been doing? It seems like you're in a good mood. It feels like it's an okay day to ask.
You've been all right. Yeah. No, I mean, I think that you're progressing just the way that you should be progressing. I mean, it's a lot of just, you got to get in and you just got to trial by fire. You know, you can learn as much stuff about the human body, and as you know, it's infinite.
Yeah.
You know, and you could sit there and you could go into the books and go into the weeds as far as you want, but there's an applicable part of it too, where you just got to go and do what it is that you've read in the books. And that's not the easiest part, because the book doesn't know the human that you're about to interact with.
Yeah.
And that's what you have to that's the art and the science of it. The science is the books, and then the art is trying to figure out how you put all the pieces of the puzzle together. And, you know, you love to be a perfectionist, and you want everything to fit into its spot. And, you know, so it's pushing you outside of your comfort zone with that, but it's just the nature of it. And you just got to kind of keep swinging the bat, and you know, you're going to have parts where you're like, oh, I screwed up on that. And you just kind of learn from it and adjust accordingly. Yeah. So.
Well, that was a very, I'm trying to think of the word. I don't know. Nice answer. Like very
truthful.
Well, you know what I mean? Of just like, yeah. Not like, hey, Amanda, you did this and it sucked.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think that there's things that you're going to learn, and you're going to become whatever trainer that you're going to become by those little things that you learn along the way, you know. And the only way that you do that is by getting in and getting your hands dirty and learning how certain people interact, and you'll find your niche, and you find what works for you, and you find the exercises that you like to do, and you learn from everyone else and be a sponge. And I'll take that and use that, and that doesn't make sense to me. And so I don't know, it's cool from the outside looking in, of just seeing, you know, you making this huge life shift, and then, you know, like you said, starting from the bottom and grinding your way back up and through it. And I think that clients are loving you, and they're coming in, and a good way to tell whether you have a good trainer or not is the amount of cancellations that people get. You know? If people have cancellations all the time, it's like, okay. Because all those variables change, right? Every person that you're seeing changes, but
my only cancellation person's a radio person. Imagine that. Well, awesome. Thank you. Yeah. I'm working on it. Like it's again, like I knew it's just jumping into the fire, and that's the only way out is through. So I feel like I'm learning a lot. People have asked me, one, it's just knowing to work out for yourself is one thing. And then learning how to do things for other people, and like gauging where they're at and where we're starting and where we're going. But like, it's been just like, I was a guest on another podcast, and I was talking about this. For me, it's just, you know, so much of my career and my life has been behind a microphone, just me and you sitting in this room. You know
Right.
what I mean? Same thing with radio of just, and you're talking out and people that listen to this podcast. I love when people email me and give me feedback or send me messages on Instagram, and it's amazing and I love it so much. But to be able to be with someone and watch the change happen in front of me and see how strong everybody's getting, just like from the week to the next, to like going back and zooming out and looking at the whole month of like, okay, well, this is what we did for the whole month. Look how strong you get to watch their body change in front of me, watch their attitude change, has been like, and I know that's not going to be everybody, you know what I mean? Because like everybody is at different places where they're at. And I don't want to be like, if every client doesn't have this transformation, I'm a failure. Yeah. That's where I tend to go. If somebody else isn't doing it, it must be my fault. I must be jacking this up somehow. So to make sure I don't take myself down that bad path, but it's been really cool. Like, it's cool to, again, the connection is just so much of the jam of what I've kind of based my whole life off of. And so to make that an in-person one-on-one it's different for me because I'm used to radio, but it's really cool. I don't know. It's cool. It is also exhausting.
Oh, for sure.
Of talking to so many people, and it just kind of like, takes it out of you a little bit, but not in a bad way. But it's just, I don't know. It is just so different from anything that I've ever done that's what exhausts. It's amazing and frustrating and exhausting at the same time. And I'd say most of that frustration is just that I'm putting on myself. Yeah. That I'm like, I should be better at this. I should know this by now. Why don't I do this? And I've told you this multiple times of like, it's stuff that like I've known and I've done before. And for some reason, then my head just all fell out of my head and it's blank again. And I think it's just because I put the pressure on myself of somebody's coming in here. I want to give them the very best experience possible. And then I'm like, am I doing that? What can you be doing that's better? And then I just...
Well, and honestly, that's what's going to make you a great trainer, is because that constant, how can I add value to the individual that's sitting across from me or that's coming in to work out with me? That's, I try to do it every day. It's just, we're going to have bad days, but this is the service that people are paying us for. And it's like, how do we add value to that person? And the only way that we can do that is constantly getting better ourselves, and then, helping everyone else along the way. And then, but yeah, to your point, I mean, when you see people come in and they're just defeated by life, and then they come in and they start to get in a routine and they start to, make some better, healthier choices, and their body starts shaping a little bit different, and their shoulders start going back a little bit more, and they start coming in with a little bit more swagger and a little bit more confidence. It's like, man, you can't, I got cold chills just talking about it, because it's crazy. It's, you can't put money on that. That's, I don't know. That's some stuff that when I first saw that happen, that's what hooked me on it. So,
yeah. I will tell you though, I do have a way that I know I'm going to up my game. I just discovered that one of my friends has a Richard Simmons costume.
Oh, great.
So that's going to happen at some point. I'm not asking you to wear it.
Good thing.
I could, though.
Yeah.
It's going to, as long as I fit into it, then it's going to happen.
Out.
It's going to happen. Yeah. Okay, let's end this with one more spicy card each.
One more spicy card.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm excited to see what this game thinks is spicy.
Do you believe in love at first sight?
Oh. I think that if we're going on sight alone, let me give a long answer to this. Just by having a sight of someone, I'm going to say no. Well, I guess, okay. I'm going to say that I believe that it can exist for people. I totally believe that it can exist in the world. For me, like, I have to know somebody. Like, it's not just a visual thing. Like, I don't find actors and stuff like that. Like, people like are like, oh my God, I would hop on Brad Pitt all day. Like, I don't have those associations because I don't know them. Like, for me, like, I just have to have some sense of who this person is. Otherwise, I just like, I can understand that somebody is like, I can say like, yes, they are an attractive person, but am I attracted to them? No. So I'd say that love at first sight, if it meant like love at first meeting, like I saw them and then I met them, and could I have love at first meeting? I would say yes to that. But for me, just a visual of like somebody walked into a room and I'm like, I'm in love with them. That wouldn't happen to me.
Yeah.
What about you?
No, I agree. I think that, lust could happen at first sight.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't think love. I think love is something that, I don't know. Love is so weird. It's like I don't know. It's just, you just wouldn't do the shit that you normally do. And then you do it and you do it just to get a response from the person that you love. It's just weird. Love is weird. Yeah.
Are you saying that's a negative?
I don't know. I mean, no, I think that we all need love or community or interaction. I think that it's a good thing.
Yeah.
I just think that it's also a weird thing.
Yeah.
So
I guess that's fair.
yeah.
All right. Let me pick a spicy card for you. I'm going in the middle here.
Oh,
I don't think this is good. I'm going to have to go for a different one. Does size matter? I don't know if that accounts for you. I mean,
size of, yeah.
Oh.
Do.
Oh, here it is spicy. Josh, do your dreams frequently involve sex?
No,
Me either. I never have sex dreams. It's so disappointing.
I don't have a lot of dreams anymore. Like, it's weird.
Did you used to?
Never. No, not. But I really I couldn't remember the last time that I've had a dream. Like that's a weird. Yeah, I don't have a lot of dreams.
Interesting.
Definitely don't have sex dreams. So
Yeah, I don't either. That's a bummer. That sounds like it would be fun.
Sleep is a weird thing. We could do a whole podcast on sleep because I just don't where do you go? Like, I don't understand it. You just
You hit the astral plane.
you lay
Josh.
down and all of a sudden your mind keeps going and you can have dreams and those can feel real to where you could like.
When it's your subconscious telling you things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or when you have those dreams and then it happens in waking life. Like, what the hell does that mean?
Yeah. I think we could go off on tangents on that one.
Well, and I think that even, when you take weird pieces of the day, it'll sometimes come in a dream, but in a weird, different way. And I know that I remember my dreams maybe once a week or so. And I have a dream journal, and I'm glad that when I remember to write it down, because otherwise I feel like I didn't dream. And then I go back and read and I'm like, oh my God, what the hell was that? But I have dreams about tornadoes a lot.
But did you say you wanted to be a tornado chaser?
Yeah,
Wasn't
I did
that
want to
your-
be a storm chaser
Yeah.
when I was a kid. I thought that would be really fun. I just think it's exciting.
It's your subconscious telling you. You gotta.
No, I think that the storm chasing, I think it's just like kind of the thrill seeking sort of thing. I just think that it just seems like thrilling of I don't want to be in the path of the tornado, but I would like to watch it. I don't know. But the dreams about tornadoes essentially just mean turmoil, chaos, chaotic sort of stuff. And it makes sense when I have tornadoes around the times that I'm just in pure chaos. And almost every single time I have tornado dreams, they happen at my grandma's house. So they always happen in the same place, sort of in different places all around my grandma's house. And sometimes I would open her back door and put my hand out into the middle of a tornado. Other times I've hidden in her cistern. Do you know what a cistern is? A cistern is basically your backup to your well. So then we would go into town with my grandpa and have a big tank in the back of his truck. And I was one that got to put the quarters in the machine at the place in the middle of the city because they live out in the country to fill the tank with the water. And you put the water in the cistern. So it's the backup to the well.
Okay.
And so, but it was an underground thing with a lid on it.
Right.
And so a lot of my dreams I'd hide in there and hide from tornadoes. So it's just, childhood crap, tornado. Yeah. Those are all the dreams I remember as tornado dreams. That went to a place after sex dreams, right?
Yeah. Huh. That went left field.
On that note, if you're interested in personal training, info at Cincy360fitness.com. Is that it? You got anything else?
That's it.
Bye.
See ya.
AmandaValentineBites.com